Hey guys, welcome back to another makeup video. Today I'm going to show you how to do a pretty simple like Halloween themed orange eyeshadow look, and then this is a look that you can wear if you're going to just go out and take fall pictures, or you just want to look cute, or you're going to go to a pumpkin patch or something. So if you want to go ahead and see how to get the Halloween vibes look, just stay tuned. So first and foremost, I just want to let you know that eyeshadow really isn't as scary as it seems. For me, I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos and kind of learn, that there are different parts when it comes to doing your eyeshadow, especially the way I do it, where it has different dimension. And the easiest way to learn is honestly, you can get high-end brands, but I like Morphe because I do use it a lot and it's not that expensive. It's very cheap, easy to find. And if you pick up these 9 pans, sorry they're dirty because obviously, but these 9 pans, you can actually, there you go, sorry. In these 9 pans, it comes with colors that all complement each other, so it makes it really easy to make eyeshadow looks based off of the colors, because it kind of gives you all the dimensions right here. The basis for most of the eyeshadow looks, and actually I had seen this on the back of, I think it was like a Maybelline little tiny eyeshadow palette, but on the back it showed you what color goes where to make it really easy. And basically when it comes to eyeshadow, so you're going to want to start with your crease. This is your crease here. You want to go in with like a pretty neutral tone, so typically that's when you use like the lighter colors. And then you're going to want to go ahead and just bring it all the way out to the edge. And then you're going to want to do, if you want dimension, you can add a darker color that's complementary to that shade and just put that in the corner. It's okay if it's messy because we're going to end up cleaning it up anyways. And then on the lid, you're going to want to do either a shimmer or like something that contrasts the colors that you've put on your eyes so far. And then the bottom, you're going to want to match whatever you put in your crease, and then you can even drag out the color that you put in the corner to the bottom lash line corner as well. And then you always want to highlight your brow bone because it just cleans everything up. And the brow bone is just here underneath your eyebrow, and you'll just put like a white shimmer or like a lighter gold shimmer, and it really makes your eyes pop. And then you can always at the end put like extra glitter in the corner of your eye. But that's basically how I do my eyeshadow, and now I'm going to show you. So first and foremost, you always want to prime your eyes. This is going to make the eyeshadow look more pigmented, but also it'll make it easier to blend and it'll last way longer. So I have a variety of them. I used to use one by NYX. It didn't look like this. It was called something else, but I don't know if they discontinued it. So Alina actually found this one for me. And then I also have this one from Juvia's Place, but I like to use this one more for like the glitters that I'll put on my eye because it's a little bit thicker. So you're just going to take the applicator, so like this one, this is what the applicator looks like, and you're just going to go ahead and put that all over your top and bottom lids. And then what I like to do is just kind of rub it out so that it creates a thin layer, and then it'll keep everything more smooth once you start applying the eyeshadow. So next I'm going to go ahead and take this 9 pan from Morphe, and I'm going to go ahead and put this color, like I said, you want the lighter color out of there, and just put it in my crease with a fluffy brush. This one doesn't have a number, but it is from Morphe. Also, if you're a beginner when it comes to eyeshadows and you really want that like precise line on the side, you can always go ahead and use Scotch tape. Just make sure, if you have delicate skin, that you kind of stick it on your hand first and peel it off and then apply it to your eye. But this is a good way to, prevent spillage of the eyeshadow. You'll just line it up with the bottom lash line and go up. And then, when you're blending it, it keeps everything really clean, and then you just peel it off. Okay, so sorry, but while I was doing my eyeshadow, it was like, something's off, I missed something, I forgot to do my brows. So that's what I went ahead and did off camera. But that's another big misconception, is that you need to spend a lot of money on all these high-end products. So for my brows, they are actually microbladed. I haven't had them touched up, and they really need to be touched up because it's been a long time. I think you're supposed to get them touched up every year, every 2 years, correct me if I'm wrong. But I haven't gone. so they are looking kind of faded in spots. And so what you can use, if you know you already have this guide set up for you, is I like, again, NYX. I've talked about this one before. It's a brow tint, and then Glue by NYX, because I have curly eyebrows, so especially right here on the end, it'll start to like flip up and it's really annoying. Okay, so now because we're going for those Halloween vibes, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this darker orange from this 9pan, and I'm gonna put it just a little bit on the outer corner and kind of drag it in a little bit just to give it some dimension. Okay, so now it's time to add some dimension. So now we're going to go in with a smaller blending brush. Sorry, this one's a little bit dirty because I was cleaning up right here in the inner corner, which you can do too if it looks kind of weird and it needs to be blended. Go ahead and use this brush. But I'm going to go ahead and go in with this like burnt red orange, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in the outer corner again to give my eyes some dimension. So this is what it's looking like now. See, it has some dimension to it. I do have hooded eyes, and this one actually is lower than this one, so sometimes I have to like overcompensate for it a little bit and go a little bit higher, because once I like open my eyes, it'll fold down and you don't see that color, so it's kind of annoying. So if you have that issue, then you're probably gonna have to do that too. But next we're gonna go ahead and add the color that we're putting to our lid. So again, we're gonna prime it, and like I said, I like to use one that's a little bit thicker because it really holds the color in place. The way I typically like to apply this one, because it's so much thicker, I'll put them on my hand, and then I have a brush. Sorry, it looks kind of bad. It's because I always use this brush for the glue, or for the primer, the thicker primer. And then you're just gonna take some on the brush and just apply it everywhere you want that really bright colors. You don't, all with Juvia's Place, also because it's very thick, you want a very thin layer, because then it'll look weird once you start to apply the eyeshadow. And then once it gets like that, you can go ahead and just tap the rest in until it's very thin. This is essentially the shape that you want to get once you put the primer on. And if you go over into the dark over here a little bit, that's fine, because once we apply that color on top, then we can go ahead and add some more color in and just kind of really make it look like it blends. So now it should look something like this. So you can already see how like one of them is showing differently than the other one. It's really annoying. Anyways, so now decide how pigmented you want your eyes to stand out, you know? So like if we were using the colors from this palette, this would stand out a lot more. This glittery one, sorry, will kind of blend in more with the orange and give you that warmer look. And then if you're really going for orange, I have another palette that has like straight orange. So it really depends what kind of look you're going for. I think for this one, maybe I'll go with the one that is straight orange. Let's just go for it. You're gonna go ahead and take this other brush, so it's very small so that it's precise, and you can get it all where you put that primer. Okay, so now it looks like this, and I always gotta check to make sure they're even, so I may have to add some more color on this side just because, again, with the hooded eyes thing, it's like off. Okay, and then if you even wanted to add more dimension to your eyes, you could use like a lighter color or a white, and you'll put it right in the center here, and then it'll really make your eyes pop. But we're gonna stick with this. So again, with that smaller blending brush that we used for the darker color in the corner, we're gonna take the same color that we did, that burntish reddish orange. You can start by tapping and then just blend it in a little bit. And then the other side. And this is just so it looks like it's one coherent eyeshadow. You really don't want to see where it starts and where it finishes. For the bottom, I have an even smaller brush that I'm going to go ahead and use the same orange here that we use to add more dimension. I'm just going to put that on my lower lash line. If you wanted it less bold, you can always use that first color we started off with. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'll put the orange on the outer corners, and then to keep all the center bright, I'll go ahead and use that lighter shade that we first started off with. Let me clean up the brush a little bit. And all of these brushes so far have been Morphe, if anybody's wondering. My favorite brushes have to be It Cosmetics, but they are very pricey. So if you choose to go that route, they're really good. The Morphe brushes are really cheap, like inexpensive cheap, and sometimes the bristles will fall off depending like how much you use it and you know how hard you go. So just keep that in mind too. But honestly, like it doesn't really faze me too much. I just kind of like if a bristle comes off, I'll just kind of like pluck it away. But yeah, it works for me. Now, like I said, we're gonna highlight that brow bone, and that's the last part of the eyeshadow. So on here we have a few colors that really stand out, and I think the color I'm going to use is this lighter white down here. And I'm going to use this brush. It's a completely different brush. This one is by Eco Tools, and it does not have a number on it. So I just tap a little bit, and then you want to go from like the center of your brow bone and out. Just kind of clean it up. And then same thing to the other side. And this is also helpful too, like say you did too much orange on one side up to the eyebrow compared to the other one, this will clean it up and make it all look very clean. And then that's it for the eyeshadow. Time to do the face. Okay, so next, before we go on to the face, so I always recommend having obviously moisturizer on your face before you do your makeup, because if you put foundation or any kind of like BB cream, CC cream, anything on your face and your skin is dry, it's going to start looking flaky, and then it'll just start coming off, and it's not going to hold it very well. So you want to go ahead and put a moisturizer on if you can, and let it sit as long as it can. So I put my moisturizer on before I did the eyeshadow. So right now my skin's absorbing it, and it should be good once, yeah, it feels really good, once I start putting my foundation on. But so I used to do my eyeshadow, and then I would just, you know, go in with my foundation and use a sponge angled beauty blender from Morphe, and I would use that to clean up my corners. But now I have been using the micellar water and a cotton swab, and I'll clean up the edges that way, because sometimes what I noticed when I was, you know, doing it the other way is that makeup, like those colors, get left on the beauty blender, or it can also still leave pigmentation on your skin. So then when you're mixing in the foundation, then your skin starts to turn like the color of whatever you have on your eyes. So this is just a way to keep it clean and precise. So I'll do this, fold it in half, and I did put some already on here, and I use this as like my guide. So I'm gonna go from the bottom, and if you have tape, you don't have to worry about this step, but I just try to clean it up and make sure I get the angle that I want. For the face, after your moisturizer, I always suggest priming your face. Again, it'll just make everything, you know, blend in better when you put all the different stuff on your face, and then it'll also last, especially if you're like gonna go out to a day at the parks like Disneyland and stuff, or you know, you have a long day of work. It keeps everything in place. If you have like a drop of sweat or anything, kind of like tap it away, and then it'll be fine. And so the two primers that I love the most, that I've been using for a while now, I used a different one from NYX before this one. It was the Poreless, what's it called? Like almost like Photoshop. It's basically like a dupe for the one that Smashbox has. And then I found this one, which is, I don't know if you can tell in the camera. I know it's almost gone, but it's like the, oh, you can, I guess you can't tell. It's like the consistency of jelly. So you would just scoop up a little bit, and it's like Jello, and just kind of put it all over your face. Once it starts warming up, then it applies perfectly. Another one that I found, and it's because of like TikTok, social media, is this e.l.f. one. It is very sticky, and so this one works best for the parks because it'll keep my makeup in place the whole day. And it comes like with this little applicator. So I normally do like a dot here, one on the forehead, and just kind of take the excess and put it on my chin, and then just blend that out until it's really smooth. Let it dry for a little bit so that it has that sticky consistency, and then you can continue with your foundation. I'm not going to the parks today. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And not saying you can't use this one at the parks, I just prefer the other one for the parks. But this is the one I'm going to apply. And then, see, it's like a jello consistency. And I just kind of put some on one side and work it out. That was something that was funny to me, like when I was first starting my makeup journey, was like I had to learn all this stuff on my own because in high school I wasn't allowed to wear makeup, just mascara. So once I got to college, I saw everybody like, you know, had their makeup done really well, and I was like, what the heck, I want to look like that. And I just really lacked confidence. I mean, I still kind of do, that's why I do my makeup, but I really lacked confidence. And so I started watching YouTube videos, and then I just happened to find a YouTuber that I really liked her makeup style. Her name is CARLI BYBEL. If you don't know who she is, look her up on YouTube. She's very good. I've been watching her since like she first started. She's been in the game, well, a little bit after she first started. She's been in the game for a while now, and she's even had her own makeup collaborations. She's also into fashion, so you can also follow her for that. I'll put her link in the description below. But yeah, I followed her, and that's just how I learned, to be honest. Is she would try the you know, the latest routines, and then I would be like, oh, let me see if I can try. And then she'd recommend products, and she'd do drugstore, and she would do regular. And that's what I really liked about her, because, you know, especially in college, you don't have the money to be buying these high-end products unless you have the money for it. But for the most part, most college kids don't have money for those products. So she would kind of show us dupes that, you know, would be similar to those, you know, high-end products. So it made it really easy and affordable, and it was like, wow, like I can do that too. But anyways, I digress. So now on to foundation. So because I'm not going to the parks, even if I was just gonna go out to like the store really quick, I would use the BB cream. So the one I like is the one by Maybelline. It works really well for me. I've been using this one for a while now. They have different shades, different tints. This is a matte finish. There's also a pink one that has like a dewy finish. But other foundations that I'm using that I also recommend. So I've tried this one. It's fairly new to me. It's called NYX Total Control Pro Drop Foundation. The only thing I noticed with this is it's not the best, and that's the way it comes. Make sure you shake it first, but it's not the best for long wear because it does become very oily. So then eventually you'll start to see it kind of melt off your face, which I didn't like. So if it's just for like a quick run or something, I'll put that one on because it's very smooth to apply. But otherwise, if it's for a long day, I don't recommend it. And then of course my ride or die has to be Rihanna's Fenty. This is the best in the world. I am so happy that Fenty is now in Ulta's because I prefer Ulta over Sephora, just because of the combination of products that they have available there. But yeah, this is my favorite foundation. I go through these pretty quickly. This is the only thing I think I would really splurge on when it comes to makeup. If you want a good foundation that'll last all day, and this is what I wear at the parks, is Fenty. And I don't know the price off the top of my head. I can put it down here once I look it up. But she has every single shade. She is very inclusive with her foundations, so she's got everything. And remember, when you do go to these places to color match yourself, make sure you do it over here in the corner on your face and not on your hand, because your hand is a different color than your face, and then there's just different tones. Like I have a lot of redness in my skin, so I have to get something that's more yellow to kind of cancel that out. So just if you have questions, they do have, you know, the employees there to also help you. Sometimes they don't really know, but always test it on your face, like in a little part if you can. And then I just squirt some of that BB cream on the back of my hand. I use my hand like a palette. It's like you're an artist, you know? That's what makeup is to me. It's art. Because you can really hide who you are. But anyways, I'll just take some of my fingers and just kind of rub it into my skin. And I like to use my fingers because I can really get around to like the little areas like around my eyebrows where I gotta be careful. And under my eyes. And then I'll take a beauty blender, again by Morphe, and this is my favorite one because like I said, to clean up around the eyes, this is the best. I'm gonna go ahead and just tap it in. So once you have that all blended in, just double check, go over it a couple of times if you're unsure because you want to avoid streaking. Sometimes that'll happen from like spreading it all over your face. So you just want a really smooth canvas. Okay, now another ride and die for me from the high end is the Tarte Shape Tape. Now this is like a really good concealer to really hide all your blemishes because it's so thick and it blends out very well. So this is what the applicator looks like. They also have a bunch of different shades. So I like to put some here under my eyes just to brighten it up because I do get dark circles, especially when I work a lot and I'm tired. And then you can kind of just put some over wherever you have blemishes. I kind of have a lot right now. My skin has not been loving me. And then I'll go in with this smaller like beauty blender if you have them. This one I think I got as a sample from somewhere, but I like to use this one for blending out my concealer. Okay, so now for a part that's going to look kind of crazy. I highly recommend doing this too. This will also keep your makeup in place. So you're going to go ahead and just soak everything together with powder. I do use a couple of different ones. So the first one I had heard about when I was working at Ulta is this banana baking powder. It has a yellow tint and it's supposed to really help with like the redness in your face, but it's not my favorite because it does, you know, carry out into your the rest of your foundation and routine. So it's a little bit too yellow. Sometimes I'll use it, it just kind of depends. The next one I had went on to was this one, and it has a price on there from Ulta. It's the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Powder, and this one is super good. Highly recommend this one. And then the one that I recently tried, just because I've been trying to I want to try new things. I know what works for me works, but I like to try new things. This Morphe Translucent Powder. And this is the one I've been using and the one I'll use today. And they all look like this when you open them up. What I like to do is just make sure you shake a good amount back into the container. And then I take this sponge, it's actually Squidward from the Revolution collection. Cody's mom got me all of the SpongeBob stuff and his sister Ashley. So I take this and I just tap it in here, kind of shake some excess off. You can also tap the excess on your hand, and then I just like to press this all over my face because I am a very oily person and I sweat very easily, so this is gonna keep my makeup from moving. You want to look like a powdered donut. Once you look like a powdered donut, you're gonna kind of want to let that sit for a little bit. It's gonna absorb all the extra oil from, you know, the foundation, from the primer, from the concealer. So just let that sit. In the meantime, I like to do my my water lines. So I use, again, NYX black eyeliner pencil, and I think these are only like $2. And then I just line my waterline. This really makes your lashes look fuller and just gives your eyes so much more definition. Like, it really makes a difference. This is the best way I've learned how to do it. Just look like you're crazy. We have our water lines lined. I'm gonna go ahead and dust off all this powder. So my current brush is a Morphe, it's called the FB1. I got this one recently at the Morphe store in Brea because they were having like a 50% off everything sale, so I said why not. But any kabuki would work. There's also this one that I used to use from It Cosmetics. You just want a clean brush that's going to brush everything away. Even if you got some on your eyes, you can go over it lightly with it and it'll take off the powder. And make sure you take off all that powder because With the HD Studio one, for example, if you leave some underneath your eye at all, then when you take pictures, especially at night and they use flash, you're gonna have what's called flashback, and it's gonna look like super white, and you're gonna be able to tell that, you know, you had concealer and all that there. It just doesn't look right. Just stick with me, I promise we're almost done. A few more steps, and remember, you can always like kind of cut some steps out, like if you don't want to do that powder because you're not going to have that long of a day, you don't have to do it. It's just a preventative step that I like to do to make sure that my makeup stays on. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put on this matte and poreless powder by Maybelline. And I'm going to use another Morphe brush. This is a Jaclyn Hill one. It's called the JH01. Again, I got it on sale at Morphe, so you're just going to put, well, I like to just put this. You can even just put your bronzer on top of what you already have, but I just like to add more color to my face. Alrighty. Now time to add some definition to our face. So I broke this one. I think it happened during Florida, but this is one of the Morphe face palettes in the color 8F. This one I like because it comes with highlighter, bronzer, and blush. And as you can see, I use them all quite a bit. So I like to use an angled brush. Again, this is by It Cosmetics, and sometimes you can get good deals on It Cosmetics because they'll have like these little bags that they'll sell that have like multiple brushes in it. And you can get really good deals on those at Ulta. But okay, go into your bronzers. You don't have to go across all of them, it just kind of depends how deep you want it to be. And then just go across your cheekbone. And make sure to always blend into your hairline, because then it's going to be very obvious. And then I like to hold my hair back so it doesn't get messed up, but also do your forehead so you can shrink it a little bit. Make it look like you were kissed by the sun. And you can even add some on your neck a little bit just to, again, keep it with the consistency. Okay, another step you don't need to do, but I like to do, is blush. So I like to use, like, if we're going with an orange theme, I'll use orange theme. If I'm going with pinks, then I'll use the pink. But I get another, and Alina got me these. I don't know what brand they are, but they're Star Wars ones. I'll just tap it into the blush just a little bit. Careful, because if you do use Morphe, they're very pigmented. And then just smile and tap it on your ball of your cheek. And blend it up a little bit. And then I like to take a fluffy, another brush. This used to be my face brush before, but now I just use it to like clean up everywhere. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this and just blend the bronzer you put on your forehead, just so again it doesn't look super like obvious. And then you can blend out or clean up your cheeks too. And if you put too much and you look too bronzed, this will clean it up. Another step you don't have to do, but if you want to look shiny like a glazed donut, go ahead and use some highlighter. My favorite, Trophy Wife by Fenty. Again, another little splurge. This is what it looks like, but let me tell you, when you use this, it is very, very pigmented, so be very careful or else you're going to look crazy. But I like to use the fan brush by Morphe. It's the M310. This is what it looks like, and I'll just literally tap it lightly a little bit. And then just apply it on my cheekbones. You can go up here a little bit as well, and on the other side. Cheekbones and on top. And then I like to add a little bit on my nose. Just like that. Now from this point, it's really preference. If you want to do eyeliner, you can do eyeliner. That's what I'm about to do right now. If you want to just, you know, put mascara, you can put on mascara and still pull off this look. If you have like really good eyelashes or have eyelash extensions, that'll make it look even better. You know, you can just wear strip lashes, whatever you want to do. My whole process, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do for the most part. Obviously, like foundation, you can't really skimp on that, but I mean, I guess you could if you want to just do your eyes. But yeah, it's up to you. I'm gonna go ahead and do my liner now. Okay, so next is our lashes. We're almost done, guys, I promise. For lashes, I'm just using some, I think my mom gave me these. They're like some dollar store ones. They're like $1 or $2. Super cheap. You can also reuse these too. As long as you take care of your lashes, you can reuse them. And then I just applied some of the Duo green one eyelash glue. There are different ones. This one is my favorite, and this one works the best. And then I like to apply my lashes with tweezers. I know people are going to say, well, real ones use just their fingers. Okay, but I like to use tweezers because my eyelashes are curly, so it makes it really hard for me when I'm trying to place them at the root to like really get in there. So this is the way I do it. I try to place it right in the middle first, and then I'll grab one side. Always let your glue dry a little bit so that it's tacky. And then don't push down too hard yet, just because if you need to make adjustments, it'll still be able to move. So I pulled it too much. And then once you have it right where you want it, you can just get it very close to your eyelash line and press it down. Just like that. And let it dry. It will eventually dry. It'll be a little bit clear still, so then you can go over it with eyeliner and just hide it. So next I'm going to go ahead and put mascara. This is my favorite one, again by Maybelline. Everything is very affordable. And this is just to get my regular eyelashes and like halfway on the false ones, just so that they blend. Because my eyelashes have some of the eyeshadow, so they look kind of orange, so we just want to make them look really full. And then I like this to flip it and do the bottom. Be very careful when doing your bottom lashes. You don't want to get mascara anywhere. And finally, we have reached the conclusion. Setting spray. Just literally, again, NYX matte finish. There's also some by Morphe. I haven't had the best experience with them. I've always stuck with this, so. But for the higher brands, I would say the Urban Decay one, the Stay All Day or All Nighter setting spray. That one's really good. But this is the final look. Let me add some gloss just so I don't look like I'm sick. You can always finish off with like a pretty neutral lipstick, maybe like a brown, or even maybe like a pink nude. It's up to you. But this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for sticking along with me. I know it seems like a long process, honestly. If you're barely starting off, do it on a day that you have off. Do it on a day where you have like enough time to get ready if you're going to an event. Just because if you make a mistake, you want to be able to take your time to fix the mistake and not have to start all over. I would say this look when I first started would probably take like an hour. But you know, with practice, no distractions, you can get it down to like 20-30 minutes. And that's what I typically average for this entire face. That's going to last me all day. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other suggestions or if you have any other questions, just let me know down below and I'll get back to you guys.